The 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Is brought to you by All Pro Roofing. AllProRoofingLLC.com on 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it. All right, we're going to get to the 10-minute drill momentarily, but let me tell you what I got cooked up for you here over the course of the next hour. We're going to hit some of the other hot spots from the sports world here in the next 15 minutes. A lot of good stuff going on. That's coming up. I got a Daily's double take at 7:45 from yesterday's NFL schedule, where we played as big a part as anyone, and it really was an amazing day in one statistical standpoint. So that's coming up at 7:45. Tony Baselli will join us for Breakfast with Baselli at 8 o'clock. Still have a football fix coming up later this morning. Take you around the NFL and the subplots and storylines. It's amazing. What a league. You go from 3-0 and on top of the world and, Super Bowl parades to losing a couple. Now you're 3-2 and you got a 20% chance of making the playoffs. The Kansas City Chiefs last year lost their third game of the year. Do you know when? You know when the Chiefs lost their third game last year?
It took a bit.
Yeah, called the Super Bowl.
Oh, Lord.
That's when they lost their third game last year. They're 2-3. They've lost 2 at home. Back-to-back games to young up-and-coming quarterbacks whose teams right now have better records than the Chiefs do. First, it was Justin Herbert and the Chargers winning in Kansas City. Now Josh Allen and the Bills go do it last night. So we got a football fix coming a little bit later. But first, I want to share this cathartic moment as I lead you, Jaguar Guggen Nation, out of this land of desperation. I'll do any and everything I can, particularly if it's cathartic for me.
You teased me on the break.
Yes.
I'm sufficiently titillated.
You're gonna enjoy this because I'm gonna paint the picture for you. And if you follow along as we flip the pages,
I'm excited.
What were those called where you'd flip the pages and it would tell the story?
Yeah, the flip book.
Flip book. But I was empowered by this from the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures here on the Monday Morning Quarterback. Back judge sucked. I sit in 123. I spent the afternoon letting him know how bad he sucked. Can't talk this morning, but I let him have it. And I know he could hear me. Good for you, Guggen. So yesterday I was fortunate enough I got invited by a client and a friend. I sat down in the club section. And after just sitting through terrible call after terrible call after terrible call, the most recent of which, that I guess apparently on the television side, Gene Steratore said he thought Trevor Lawrence was in and it should have been ruled a touchdown. It wasn't necessarily that particular one, but it was the icebreaker. And as fate would have it, as I stood there beside my seat, the aisle down to field level, just 2 steps to my left, in that replay booth sitting at the bottom of the aisle, I couldn't take it another minute. I left my seat. I stepped into the aisle. I marched down 27 rows. I hung over the wooden railing, and I screamed at the official of just how horrible and sorry he is.
It finally happened.
You have killed us all day. You are sorry. No profanity. No physical contact.
Just driving it home.
I marched my unhappy butt down 23 rows. I was within meat to beef of said referee.
That's commitment.
And I just screamed at him.
He heard you too.
That was for Cowboy Joe West, NBA official Daryl Garrettson.
You let it all out.
I did. I just let it all out. You sorry so-and-so. How do you guys get paid? You have screwed us all day long. Go ahead. Give it to us again. You're sorry.
Little did you know it was a sneak preview of your anger for Scott Halverson.
The Jack Judge, Scott Halverson, who not once but twice just stabbed us in the heart yesterday. Man, we got so screwed by the refs yesterday more than, 3 or 4 just huge game-shifting plays. And goodness knows we can't afford those here.
This is what's funny about this is so on brand for the on-air character and so out of character for the off-air person.
You're correct. That is so summed up perfectly. It is right on cue for the on-air brand, but you're right. Me in person normally,
Real Jeff would never do that.
I sit back. I couldn't take it anymore.
You'll sit back and tell the guy sitting next to you, this guy's killing us. He sucks.
I turned to the guys I was at the game with. I turned to the two of them, and I told them I had that twitch in my eye. I said, you know what? I'm going to march right down there, and I'm going to scream at this guy. And they're looking at me like, well, you're not going to do that. I said, I'm going to do it. and then I did.
Don't push me.
I did, and it was perfect. The seas parted. I was able to go right down to the bottom. The people must have been looking at me like I was a maniac, but they're Jag fans. They understand. The one dude said to me, it actually looks like he didn't score. I'm not even talking about this one. Oh, it felt so good.
You should.
It felt so good.
It's cathartic, man. It feels good.
I've never done it. Never done it, but I did. I got your back, Jag fan. These jackasses.
Oh my
God. These idiots with whistles.
That's so good.
Gosh, you can't give 6 idiot whistles. That wouldn't be any fun for anyone. I don't care I don't care if you're at a children's birthday party or a football game. You give an idiot a whistle, you're in for a bad 3 hours. From the Texan designed by Lifetime Enclosures, Gene didn't just say it was a touchdown. He gave 2 different reasons why it was a touchdown, and it wasn't going to be overturned. Until, of course, it was. Oh, man. Remember that old XFL running back, he hate me? That's what we need to put the back of our jerseys. Let's brand every one of our... Give them a break, man. They hate us. Yesterday was bad. I mean, look, we lost the game. Plenty of reasons, plenty to pick through, and we will. And Breakfast with Baselli's coming up. But meanwhile, let's scan the landscape a little bit. There's a lot of cool stuff happening this weekend.
Lots and lots. We'll go to Saturday first, where this season that's been topsy-turvy, and college football just got a little more turvy.
That's small. Is down. It is up. And the fighting Texas Aggies take down the top-ranked Tide 41-38.
What a finish.
Yeah, and Texas A&M had built a big lead, and Alabama came back, and but Texas A&M wins it on a last-second field goal. What a streak was snapped in that one. Alabama, I believe, had won triple-digit.
100 straight against unranked opponents.
Well, there you go. That ends the undefeated record for Nick Saban against his opponents. But more than anything else, it's Alabama's kind of being, as far as bridge years go, Alabama, I don't think is winning. I think Georgia's better than Alabama. I do.
I think a lot of people share that opinion.
Yeah, I don't think Alabama's going to win it. That line of scrimmage isn't dominant like normal Alabama lines of scrimmage are on either side. They did not get to the Texas A&M quarterback enough, and Bryce Young was under pressure all day. Look,
Wasn't that a lot of the commentary during the Florida game, even though they lost, was that they just worked him at the line?
Right, that's correct, and that's why I was going to use that to bolster this argument about Alabama. And look, I'm not here to tell you don't count out Nick Saban and that talent. Don't get me wrong, but this is a couple times now. Florida tested, could have beat them. Missed extra point, cost them. Now Texas A&M does beat them, and Florida beat them by running it right down their throat. Texas A&M beat them by throwing. I mean, the further you get along, the better the teams are. You run into those that can do both. But overall, I think this SEC is kind of steeped in mediocrity. Really, it is. I mean, we got a lot of good teams with 2 losses. And we got teams you expect to be better with 3 or 4 losses. And the only dominant team it looks like now, look, at the end of the day, Alabama just lost to a team that lost to Mississippi State the week before. Georgia's the only really top 5 looking team in the conference. Alabama only fell to 5. We'll see. Look, the reality is it's been such a chaotic college football season.
Yeah, I mean,
they're going to lose. There are going to be more losses. This is the year, boy, where you're going to wish you had that wild. 8 or 12 already.
It's wild, man.
It's working out perfect for Cincinnati, though.
Georgia's number 1 now. Iowa had a big test and looked the part.
And who's afraid of Iowa? Seriously, if Iowa were playing, I could name you 6 other teams in the top 10 or 20 that if Iowa were playing. Now, we might be wrong, but we would say, oh, no, Oklahoma will beat them. Oh, no, or maybe Oklahoma's not the right answer.
I mean, we're going to get a very weird Final Four.
And these conference championship games are going to help, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the year, I want to know when I don't understand how Ohio State's jumping up in so many people's minds. In fact, I saw Sam Acho, who does some analysis for ESPN, put Ohio State in his top 4. What? They lost a home game. What about the team that beat them? Maybe consider them a bit. But anyway, yeah, college football, chaotic. Nice to see some chaos level out for Mike Norvell and FSU getting a big win at North Carolina this weekend.
Boy, they were in control too.
They really were. Yeah, they took a big lead and held it. Yeah, there was no collapse. There was no comeback. And suddenly that's a 2-game streak. I believe FSU has UMass next. So,
And speaking of Saturday, if you were able to stay up late enough to watch it.
Fury throwing it up again. And that's it. It's over. Russell Mora waves it off. He's not counting. The Gypsy King is the heavyweight champion.
but he's a big old man, isn't he, Tyson Fury? And he's just, gosh, he's like old school heavyweight boxer. Those hands are so fast, it belies how slow his body looks. Like when you watch Tyson Fury, he looks like he lumbers. He's kind of, he's got fat on him. He's just a big guy. He looks soft. But the hands are so quick, man. And I almost think it serves him better that body doesn't look chiseled. It doesn't look like that's Mike Tyson walking across the ring, or in this case, even Deontay Wilder. But he just outlasts you. He got knocked down early. This is a great matchup. I guess it's now seen its course. They had one draw, and Fury's now beating him in back-to-back fights. But all the fights have been fantastic. I mean, honestly, if you picked 3 of the best fights you've seen in the last 5 years, you might pick those 3 fights between these same 2 guys. And it lived up to all that on Saturday night. And look, boxing goes as the heavyweight division goes. And you'll get pushback from those that follow the sweet science about the sport of boxing being dead, quote unquote. Certainly doesn't have the spotlight and notoriety, but I tell you what, we had more matches, and they made an effort instead of just capitalizing on every last penny of a pay-per-view, and they put a boxing match like that on television in primetime. That's what will get boxing back. But, it is what it is. I'm sure they have an economic model that it works. I'm sure the pay-per-view buys were outstanding. Both fighters got paid a lot of money, and that was a fight worth watching. But if you're just a Gen Pop sports fan, it takes a lot of commitment and effort to enjoy that. It's the financial commitment, whatever the fight costs, $129, $99. I didn't order this one, and I was too tired, man. I went out to the golf on Friday, and so I had a kind of a late Friday, and then watched ball all Saturday. I knew I was up early on Sunday, down at the stadium at 7:30, the kickoff show. So I knew it wouldn't start till close to midnight. I just, I wanted to. That's why I said earlier, I wish that fight was in the summer. Summertime, staying up till midnight and watching it. And look, I don't normally, don't get me wrong, not 95 years old. It's not too old to watch typically, but having to get up the next morning, do all the jags, stay up till 1 or however long it lasted. But it would have been worth it. I did get up now, watch the entirety of the highlight package. By the next day, it's the beauty of YouTube and these other streaming services. You can get what you're not supposed to right away.
Oh, it's $79.99 on the fight.
Yeah, well, that's not bad at all. That would have been well worth it. You would have got your price per punch would have been a good value in that one. And kudos to Tyson Fury. And it's too bad they had a made for the rivalry matchup with, Anthony Joshua is like the number 1 contender. I think he may have even been a titleist, but he lost his last fight, surprisingly. So that's kind of shaking it up as far as where we go next. But to be honest with you, I'd like to see him fight again. But at some point, if you're Tyson Fury, how many times I got to beat this guy?
Right. You've made your point.
Yeah.
Last night, there's obviously it's frustrating and some fans are enraged about the call. But by the rule, it was just very puzzling last night in Boston.
Diaz runs. Kiermaier sends a ball into right center field. That's trouble. And that one's off the base of the wall. Diaz coming around to score. Kiermaier to third. The Rays have taken the lead.
You're saying that's going to be a double.
Oh, no.
Well, what was strange about it was Kiermaier hit the ball over the right fielder's head. It bounced off the wall, back into the fielder, and then over the short right field wall there.
Yeah,
it's only
into the
waist
bullpen.
high. So it hit off the wall and then off of the defender and then bounced over. And then in the rules of Major League Baseball, they somehow have thought about that scenario actually taking place. I don't know how many different ways it could happen. It just so happens that where he hit that ball, the wall's so short there. Most of the time, it would have just bounced right back up off of the wall.
Right.
The bottom line is it counted as a ground rule double, so the runner on first had to stop at third, when in reality, on that play, he would have scored easily. And so now I imagine they will probably revisit exactly how to score something like that, because sometimes it is at your discretion as an umpire when a play like that, like fan interference or something occurs, it is at your discretion to kind of common sense out where the runner would have been. And in common sense and practicality, the Rays would have scored a run there. So they went on to lose in extra innings. If they do score that run there, does that mean they necessarily win? No. I mean, things could have happened differently. But, buddy, it was a terrible break. And they're not, to their credit, they're not whining about it. It's just
tough.
Just odd.
Tough.
Just odd that it happened. It was terrible timing more than it was, like a particular beef.
They'll get back at it tonight. Red Sox up 2-1. Meanwhile, the Astros up 2-1 in the Forgotten Series. And your guy, Max Fried, looked real good this weekend.
Listen, I've been telling you guys about Max Fried, and he has been the second half of the season the best pitcher in baseball. And that's not, Braves fandom talking. Those are the facts. Those are the line scores. And he's had 2 9-inning complete games, shutouts, 2 3 or 4 hit shutouts in the last month. His ERA, he's like, he's won like 10 out of 11 starts with an ERA of 1.5. And so I expected them to win Game 2. That doesn't mean it was definitely going to happen. It did, and they come home now. Got a Monday afternoon game today against the Milwaukee Brewers. Ian Anderson on the mound. He had that tremendous postseason success last year. We'll see if that experience helps him. It's a 3-game series, and the Braves have home field. I think it's all you can ask for.
This is another one of those fun days if you're a baseball fan. We got 4 games. It's all day.
Man,
like you said, Brewers, Braves at 1:07. Then it's the Forgotten Series, Astros, White Sox at 3:30, Rays and Red Sox at 7, and then Giants, Dodgers at 9:30.
Yeah, the White Sox did keep their series alive last night and beat the Astros. The Giants fell to the Dodgers late night a couple of nights ago. Now, if you're a Braves fan, I was thinking about this. And I don't know if it's enough to do an about-face switch in the middle. And first things first, you got to beat the Brewers. I think the Braves are going to win the series. I thought that when it started. I don't mean to mush them. I'm not overconfident. It wouldn't shock me if they lost. It wouldn't shock me if they lost in 5. But 1-1, Ian Anderson on the mound tonight, certainly there in front of them. They control their destiny now. They got the split on the road, and they really haven't exploded with the bat yet, and that could happen at any moment. This has been a very productive baseball team over the course of the year. So if they can get those bats going first in this game today, I believe Freddie Peralta's pitching. And then there's probably going to be a bullpenner for maybe both teams in Game 4. But, Atlanta is in prime position now. But I was thinking about the future of the next opponent, again, assuming and hopefully that the Braves can win this series, at least hopefully from my perspective. All along you said, gosh, you wanted the Brewers. You didn't want to face the Cardinals, the Dodgers, or the Giants. Agreed, right?
Right.
That's where we were. All right. Well, now, what's the common knowledge here? Who do you want, the Dodgers or the Giants? What's the common thought?
You want the – shockingly, I think you want the Dodgers.
Well, there you go. That's a good point. And here's why. I still think the Dodgers are better than the Giants. As a competitor and you want the game-to-game guy – probably should want the Giants. And I know the Giants won the division by a game, and they deserve the status of where they are, but I just look at that lineup and that pitching staff, and I can't help but think the Dodgers are better. Yet, as a Braves fan, we should still want the Dodgers, and here's why. Guess what happens if the Dodgers win? Braves have home field. Dodgers are the wild card. Now, in most situations, that wouldn't matter, but in a series that's going coast to coast, it does. If you get the Dodgers instead of the Giants, it means you make 1 trip to the West Coast and back, not 2. And in a 7-game series, that's a close battle and an even matchup, that could be a big difference having to go back and forth across the country twice as you would if you were the road team, which they would be against the top-seeded Giants. But they'd only have to make that trip once for games 2, 3, and 4 if the Dodgers advance along with them. Beef, let me finish the 10-minute drill with a little sake. I do this every time.
You do. It's tough.
Sake. I need to drink some sake. Soccer, hockey, NASCAR. Forgotten, but we haven't forgotten about you. First, Team USA. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to get behind you in this new powerful brand of young and talented USA Soccer. But when you go on the road and lose to a country about the size of Dixie County, I lose faith. You can't sell me a scenario where you lose to Panama. Now, I don't know the status of Panama's athletic endeavors, but I'm guessing they practice in like a dirt field behind the Tienda, okay? We're Team USA, a country of 340 million people. Panama is, again, It's this like less than the size of Florida. They don't exactly have the infrastructure and budget to contend and compete. You lost to Panama. Good Lord, man. It's the 4th anniversary of a loss to Trinidad and Tobago that kept us out of the 2018 World Cup. And here they go, and they do it again. They lost 1-0 to Panama. Really? Loss drops the U.S. into a tie for second, barely ahead of Panama on goal differential. Mexico is 3 points ahead in first. Canada, who we drew with earlier, is in fourth. The U.S. plays 5th place Costa Rica and Columbus. Apparently, that'll be a coin flip. Oof. Meanwhile, NASCAR, the playoff field in NASCAR was reduced to 8 yesterday. It's the first time in this format, which started in 2014, that the final 8 does not include any of the big boys, Joe Gibbs, Hendrick, or Penske. How about that?
Wow.
Locked out of the final 8. That's saying something, too. There you go. A little soccer, hockey, NASCAR. That's 10-minute drill. Beef, tell them what they want.
One lucky Gookin going to go home. They're going to get well fed on us with entrees, lunch entrees for 2 over at Sonny's Barbecue. On us.
Nice.
Just be caller number 3 right now, 641-1010.